Oh, hi. This is a quick demo about the COTX company's new cloud service. The name is the People's Open Lab, which is a Helium-based online testing tool. So anyone can log into our COTX IoT cloud and use the People's Open Lab to test any Helium-compatible Lora sensors online real time. So basically, we released in beta testing environment, so you can log in by input this address test.cortex-sg.io, and when you log in, you can see all Cortex cloud-based services are listed here. We got a Hotspot cloud service, and the new one is the People's Open Lab. So we can log in and the first step is you can pick up which device you wish to testing. We got one already being added into OpenLab. The first one is a Petaphone GPS tracker, which is a pet GPS tracking device, which Cortex upgraded so it support LoRa WAN and the Helium network. And also you can choose a Cortex LoRa data collector, which is working as a connector between non-helium compatible sensors to helium network. So for example, if you have some sensors which is not a helium compatible, not a LoRa sensors, but you can connect to a LoRa data connector, then those sensors can talk to helium network, then talk to your app. So it's a great tool. It's a great sensor, help you to connect more sensors into Helium network. The third one is the Cortex LoRa Tracker PCBA. It's a refactor LoRa-based GPS tracker. It's small and could be customizable for our customers. So now we put all these three into Open Lab for your testing for free. Let's try Petaphone GPS tracker. So next step here, you can choose which specific device you wish to testing. So we got a physical device. We already set up in Cortex Beijing lab. And also you can choose a sensor simulator. Because we have all the data package, data format information about the sensor, so we can create a small piece of software, which is a sensor simulator. In this example, we create a Petaphone sensor simulator here. Let's try the physical device at the first next step. Because you choose a physical sensor, this sensor already set up in Cortex Beijing lab, so it's upload data constantly. Um, the data packet passed through a hotspot, Cortex X3 hotspot in Beijing lab, then comes through a Helium network under Cortex dedicated account. Then you can use different ways to display the test data. So you can use Cortex Open Lab app here. You can just install them and use your login credential here to log in your app and test it, see all the data. And also you can use our partners like a TrackPacker app because TrackPacker already compatible with the Helium GPS tracker. Of course, you can using our web simulation here, so you can display the test data here. You can see the device ID and the description of the device you tested and the location GPS information about this tracker is in China. And because we're testing this device in EU 868 frequency plan, so the test hotspot is also set up as a Europe EU 868 frequency. So that's why Helium Network will position this one as it is in Europe, but actually it's physically in Beijing lab, but it's just the way Helium position the GPS, GPS Helium hotspot. So you can see all the payload, all the fields for this GPS tracker uploaded, battery information, connect information, GPS information. Because the uh, actual data packet pass through hotspot, sometimes it may pass in not just one. So in this example, we list the gateway which pass the data here. So you can see the information about this gateway. So in every web simulation page here, we upload three test data here, three latest one, two, three. So if you try to update to load the latest one, you can see, you can click the update data. You can display, you can see the latest one here. So that's the testing for one telephone GPS tracker. Of course, you can launch a new one. And in this time, let's try simulator. So this is a telephone GPS tracker simulator. So once you choose a simulator, you can simulate the data by just input uh, the information you wish to be transferred through the Helium network. We're choosing the battery information. Let's place the GPS tracker. Let's place it in Australia. Okay, so then we put working times and the pause basically is because the telephone GPS tracker is a pet tracking device, so it can also be used to record the activity for your pet. For example, how many steps this dog walking in a period of time. So let's say it's a small number. Okay, let's submit the data. Okay, operation success. That means the data already passed through Helium network. So let's open. Okay, the Open Lab app can display all the simulator transfer data, but let's use the web one to see the test results. It tells you that this testing is for a simulator, and yeah, you can see the GPS information shows these trackers in Australia, and because even we're using a sensor simulator, the actual data also pass through a physical a Helium network. So the hotspot information also listed here, so you can see all the gateway information or the payload for the GPS tracker. Because just the one testing, so that's why in this web simulation you can see just one upload data. That's the sensor simulator testing. So basically, every sensor can be tested like this way. And if you choosing a sensor simulator, you can see the test data here because we store the test data if you choosing a simulator. But if you choose a physical sensor, we won't store those data because you can see all the physical devices information anytime you want. Just log into the Open Lab, you can see them. So that's the one we just tested. We can open to see the detailed information for our testing. See that's the information we input for this testing. Uh, we provide a menu here. You can check all the detail menu. If you click the back to home, you can back to the landing page for our Cloud IoT cloud. So that's the demo for this Open Lab. Let's see what we can do for this Open Lab. So now it's in beta testing, so everyone can log in and feel free to testing. It's free, and that's the architecture for the Open Lab. So basically, we set up physical sensors in COTX Beijing lab, and we set up the COTX X3 hotspots, so all these sensors can constantly upload information into the hotspot, and information will be passed through Helium network under COTX Helium console account, and data will be transferred to COTX IoT cloud. It's all maintained by COTX and operate in the backend. It store the data and how many data credit you used, and the data will be passed through to the app. So we present you a COTX Open Lab app. You can download it from Google Play and App Store and for free. So you can see all sensors information here. So it's pretty straightforward. You just display the data you received, so you can see all the data here. So because the Open Labs main audience is developers, so you can see all the data you received for a specific device. Of course, you can use the web simulator to see the test results. Also, as I mentioned, we can compatible with any third-party apps like a track packer or anyone others. If your apps can compatible with the Helium network, you can receive the Helium compatible sensors data. We can add you into OpenLab. All this is just to speed up the R&D for the developers, for IoT solution planners, sensor vendors. So if you have a helium hotspot, not just a COTX hotspot, if you have a helium hotspot, you have some sensors you want to sell to some developers, you want to have more people to test your devices, you can just connect them to the Helium network and contact Cortex. We can add your environment into part of the third-party Open Lab into our Open Lab environment because it's Open Lab, right? So your environment can connect to our Open Lab, so anyone uh, in the world can test your sensors real time online. So every data will be passed through the Helium in real time. And of course, if you can provide us the your sensors data format, your packet format, we can create a device simulator for you. So you don't even have to set up this environment in your lab. You just provide a data package, data format for us. We can create a simulator for you. This simulator will be always online. So anyone can fill data and use this one to trigger a data flow from a proxy to a real Helium network and pass through our app so you can see the data, just like what we demoed. And of course, as I mentioned, if you have some non-LoRa sensors, but you wish these sensors could be joined Helium network, you can try let these sensors connect to a Cortex LoRaWAN data collector. Then this data collector will convert your data and then talk to the Helium network and pass through. So it's a way to connect non helium compatible sensors. So that's the basic architecture for the Open Lab. So we wish more and more uh, sensor makers and app developers and IoT vendors can join the Open Lab to test your solutions, to evaluate your solutions. So basically, we can test the Helium networks, stability, uh, scalability, and also your devices, your Lora devices, and to test your app if it works, because everyone can download your app, right? Everyone can, every developer in the world can download your apps to test the communication between the sensor and app. And of course, you can develop your own app because we provide this Cortex Open Lab app to our customers. If you want to develop your app, what you need to do just your idea, because we already built up the whole communication, the backend cloud services, the most part of the app. So like account management, the data quality charging, all this stuff already done in Open Lab app. So what you need to do is how to leverage the data you received, how to present these data for your customer, how to set up a specific customer for your focused industry. So that's you need to do. So the rest of the stuff already be done by Cortex Open Lab app. So that's a quick start point for your own app. And of course, since we connect all these sensor vendors online and all the developers online, so you can evaluate all those sensors in real time. So that can help you to speed up your R&D. For example, when we have our partnership with some developers, uh, some issues is when the developer want to change some sensors, we have to make the change the firmware and the package and ship the sensors to developers. Then they start testing and develop. That's slow because with the Open Lab, everything is online. So if developer said, okay, please can you change the firmware to add one parameters, we can done immediately, and those change will be take effect, and the developers can test those changes immediately. So that will be, I mean, greatly speed up the R&D for developers. And of course, we can verify your idea. So as I mentioned, if you have idea to a new sensor, you can just give us your data format you plan to realize. We can create a simulator, and the simulator can work immediately on the Open Lab, so you can test it by your app. So if you are a device maker, you create those LoRa based Helium compatible sensors, we can create a specific test channel for you. Uh, Here, uh, in Open Lab, we can create a specific test channel for a sensor vendor, right? We can help you add your sensors in a specific page. People can follow the same steps to test your devices. And of course, if you have a specific IoT projects, like you have to use a one app to display a bunch of sensors information, different type of sensors, we can simulate that online for you, so you can test a massive deployment IO solutions on Helium network. You can test the performance because we can simulate sensors to trigger data flow across Helium network, so you can test the actual performance for your IoT solution. You can evaluate your app because once you upload your app to Open Lab, any people can download them and the real testing based on real sensors to evaluate your app functions. And of course, we can create a test report for your testing. If you set up a complicated test environment, we can create a report for you. So you can share the test report for your stakeholders or sponsors. And of course, those test report and links can be embedded into the your setting page, your e-commerce store, your social medias, so that can help your customer to better understand your devices and your solutions. And of course, we can set up some other test environment for Helium related products and solutions. If you wanna any audience and developers to test your solutions online in real time. So that's basically what Open Lab can work for you. So please feel free to test Open Lab, and if you have any questions, please just send us an email. Thank you.